Have you ever heard the only thing to fear is fear itself? In my opinion, fear, when used correctly and understood correctly, becomes the sword that helps you in the trajectory of your life. Fear helps you navigate the direction in which you should go. Oftentimes, we think fear is actually a limiting factor, but fear is the biggest signifier of the things that we should do well. Fear becomes a signifier of how we should actually take steps towards our goals. Fear is understood as an unpleasant feeling triggered by the anticipation or awareness of danger or threats. Now, I think this is understandable when it comes down to evolutionary processes. Our amygdala is the fear center, right, is excessively active when we have a heightened activity and when we have different evidentiary support for our fears. But oftentimes our fears are unfounded, especially in this day and age. We really don't need excessive amygdala activity because there's not a lot of things that make us as afraid as we used to, based on globalization, based on how the economy is, and so on and so forth. But there's so many different fears that keeps people bound, and I often wonder what the root cause is. When I look at my life, I think on all of my lived experiences. My first memory actually was when I was a baby. We were apparently we were robbed, and so I remember crying really loudly and my mom panicking, and my dad and my uncle were hurt. The only reason why I remember this is because I was having flashbacks in one of the heightened PTSD episodes, and I asked my mom about this memory, and she told me she was surprised I remembered it because I was a baby. And then I asked my father about it later, and he told me this actually happened before I was 1 year old. So my brain actually developed with heightened amygdala activity, so I had a heightened propensity of fear for all of my life, and I didn't know that until I started experiencing more PTSD symptoms. And now I know it's complex PTSD symptoms, but I had many different things that added to my fear. But I was only able to get out of a space of living my life through fear, which was then shielded through recklessness and numbness, shifting that one through knowing Jesus, and two, also actually facing my fears head on. I realized that fear is actually just a cloak, right? It's actually just they're blinders to what we can do. They're blinders and limitants to our potential, only because it makes it seem so unreachable. So I encourage anyone who sees this, if you are afraid of anything, of anyone, any behaviors, anything that you want, one, think about it. God did not give you the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And if you think about how God helps us in our courage and our strength. So one, lean on God. Two, learn the root causes of your fear. Where does that fear come from and why do you have it? And take the active steps. Ask for help to help you move forward.